Hey, what's up, guys? Back for another episode of Wild Stallion. Uh, Sorry, I haven't been feeling too good lately. Allergies and the cold on this Michigan weather sometimes gets me headaches, and I just don't feel well, and my nose runs. Like in the last video, I apologize for that. That shouldn't be happening too much more. I guess if I not feeling good, shouldn't be doing a video, but it doesn't matter to me. I know I need to shave. I'm a little shabby, but we'll take care of that in a little while. I've been busy today. I had a lot going on. But what I do have to announce is just an update. I went to the Secretary of State today to get a copy of my motor vehicle records. And some of the stuff that I see on here, I just can't believe that this happened. It's been a long time, but, I checked it out, and it's what it is. I'll read some of this stuff to you. Came to dry very good. So I got my full license on June 20th, 2007. And apparently I got into an accident in August of 2007. It's not very long after I got my license. And it says 2 vehicles, 1 unit injured, no killed. Thought that was funny, and I just have so much that I'm not proud of any of this stuff, by the way, people. Don't think nothing that I do on this channel. Don't think that I'm trying to promote anything as crazy as these stories sound. I'm not saying that I want people to do this. I'm saying to learn from this. This is what this video content is about, is the stories I tell you guys are real life situation stories of my dumb behaviors, of things that I've done. This is why I'm doing it. I vent. I learn from my mistakes. Sometimes I have to talk and get it off my breath, and I have people tell me, why don't you just talk to a therapist? I'm not into any of that. I had one before. I've talked to a counselor. None of that works for me. It's just like I'm talking to somebody that doesn't really care, and I'm paying them money for that, and that's just stupid when I can just talk to people just like I am right now. So, anyways, I was on a probationary period, and I got a prohibited turn violation in 2008. I lost my license like 4 or 5 different times, I believe. I'm reading right here. Restricted license, revocation of license, re-examination date, improvement classes, probational period. I mean, I got so many. There's 4 pages here, guys. This is not, I mean, how do you understand this? This is so stupid. It's suspended from this date to this date. Right after that, suspended 12/9/2009. I got disobeyed stop sign, driver responsibility fees. I mean, that stuff is expensive, guys. Driver responsibilities, I don't even know if they actually have it anymore. But when I had to pay, it was like almost like $250 a point. And I had 12 of them at a point, and that's just a lot of points. You don't even really have a license after 12 points. I think I actually had 16 to be exact. 16 points is kind of a bit. But yeah, this is very excessive. Obstruction of vision control. Failed to display a valid license about 4 or 5 times. Failed to pay reinstatement fee at time of let goes on tickets, so they put a hold on my license. Just stupid things I was just looking at I have court on Monday on a speeding ticket. I haven't got a ticket since 2014, and I kind of have to, I have an attorney, I kind of have to go. So I had to get some information from my attorney, and I was just looking at that today, and I thought it was funny. But story I'm going to talk about today is I did a vacation. I haven't done vacations in quite a while. The last vacation I went on was with my buddy Steve, and we went to Miami. Cheap flight tickets. We got on. It was some Colorado. He works out of Colorado quite a bit, so he gets a lot of flight different what's the word I'm searching for? Deals, different deals on different, flight tickets being cheap, like 51, $52. Uh, there, one-way ticket, but you pay, the same amount on the way back, so you might as well just pay a one-way ticket both ways. So it's $102 or whatever we paid. Go out there for 7 days, and I have some family out there. I have an aunt, two aunts, and a grandma out there now. But when we went out there, it was just two aunts. My grandma was just moved over there, and we wanted to go to Florida, and it was like December, and we got a good deal, so it's kind of like still summer over there. Not used to it. I got some family that live down there. My cousin Oscar, he's got a little like tobacco outlet store, vape shop combo thing that we can go visit. So while we're down there, there's, I guess, what do you call it? Like they have this thing. It's called the wall, or like a graffiti. You go there and decorate everything. You can spray paint. You can tag. So we're going down there. Me and my buddy are just tagging on this graffiti night. I forget the name of what it was called. When I find out, maybe I'll put it in my comments. And so the story I want to talk about is while we're out there having a good time, we're doing different events. We go to the strip club that's open until like 7 in the morning. You could be there like all night. I'm sitting here drinking beer after beer after beer, and like $2. So we're just having a good time out there. The first stop we got to when we actually went to Florida, we went on the beach. We wanted to look at the water, and we just go to this little beach. I actually don't even remember the name of that one. I think it might have been just a little mom and pop type little bar area where you can sit on the patio outside, and you can look at the water and drink a beer, and we're slamming down Mai Tais and some crazy 7 different liquors, and oh, it was a good time. So my story is how I smuggled weed out of the airline back to Michigan from Florida. And it's not even that big of a deal. It wasn't even a lot, but the fact that the story is just so funny, and how I did it, I don't understand it. But you know what? Things just tightened up now in security these days, so it probably wouldn't happen again. This is like 2016, 2017. It's actually 2017 is when it happened. 2017 December. It was a good time. So me and Steve, we pay this money, we get on the tight flight, and I get to the airport, and we got to get hold of my aunt. So I'm trying to figure out the streets and the numbers out there. The streets are way where they write them differently from Michigan, from what I know. So I'm like looking around. I'm like, I don't understand what this means. So we're trying to figure it out. We're asking people, and we finally get a hold of my aunt, and I talk to her, and we go to her house. We get a Uber and a Lyft. Actually, we used Lyft, but we used Uber a couple times. But we used Lyft mostly because we had a coupon for that. And we had like 5 free rides, so we were just using that for a minute. And every time we did one, we just buy a card and just pay for it that way. Well, we're going to all these different events. We had this little art museum bar thing that was going on where we got there with a bunch of free drinks. So I'm sitting there chilling outside drinking this wine, champagne. I believe there was different kind of drinks outside. You can just walk around the city, and there's an art gallery, and you can get, everybody's dressed up, and I'm dressed in street clothes. Me and Steve's dressed up a little bit better than me, but I'm dressed in street clothes. And I see all these people drinking these free beers. This lady's walking around like, here, you want to try these shots? And I just start slamming them back and forth. There's about 7 of them. And this weird guy walks up, and he's just like, what's up? You like my outfit? And then all of a sudden, I just spit it all over. And it just happened to go all over Steve. The champagne everywhere. And they're like, you're cut off. You're cut off. And, we're just like, whatever, dude. We're going into the art scene. On the way out, I grab another one and drink it. And everybody thought I was like sick, when I was really just laughing and spit it all up on Steve, and I felt bad, so I had to go get him some new clothes. Even though we didn't end up getting them, he just wiped himself off. But I wanted to get him some new clothes. We're just roaming the streets. It's nice out. We see these little scooters we could have took, all these different exotic cars you can rent per hour, and I'm like, I don't know about all that. and we find all these different people trying to call us in on the Miami area, right at the beach where you can eat right. There's so many restaurants, so many different restaurants, and these people are trying to will and deal you, and you're like, I don't understand what you're saying because it's multilingual there, and I don't know. I don't really speak Spanish, and I don't really talk to a lot of people that are not from Michigan, so it's kind of hard for me not to understand. I mean, slang is one thing, but a different language, it's like, whoa. So someone swindles us into like a seafood style platter with king crab and squid, octopus, chicken, mashed potatoes, all you can eat. It was like a $70 meal, and we got it for like $40 or something like that. And I'm scarfing down, and this guy just comes up. He's like, "Hey, you guys want to buy tickets to this little adult club?" And I'm like, I don't know about all that. I mean, it'd be fun. I mean, I'm single at that time. I'm talking to a girl, but we're not really doing too well, and I'm in a different city, so it doesn't even really matter. She's probably doing her own thing too. So, anyways, me and Steve go to the strip club. Finally, after our dinner, we were like, all right, screw it, we're gonna go walk there. So we start walking around, and we finally find the address. We're like, all right, well, we need to go back to my aunt's house to change and get flyed up. We want to look dope when we go in there. You got all this stuff. We're not gonna just walk in there in street clothes. I mean, that's just not how you do things in the strip club era. So we finally get all flyed up fresh. He gets his Nike's outfit on. I get my little gear on, and we go up in there, and so many fine chicks dancing, people twerking, beers, passing out money, all kinds of gangsters, people wearing big ass chains, and we're just chilling. We just go up there, and I'm asking, for what kind of beers they have on tap, and I'm like, you got Yuengling? They had Yuengling there. I'm like, yeah, let me get a couple of them Yuenglings. So people don't really know about Yuengling, but that's a good thing. These people with these White Claws, I don't understand how people can drink a bunch of those. They're all right, I guess. I had one before, and it's not part of the bro code. I'm not down with the White Claws. They're not all that perked up to be, or hyped up, whatever the word you want to say it. It's not gnarly. Anyway, so this is what happens. So we go in the strip club. We hang out for about 4 or 5 hours. These girls are trying to give us lap dances, and Steve's like, whatever money you got. So we're both paying each other back because he's on card, so he's just paying me back on ATM and all the blah blah blah. And we're just stacking the money. We whack up like a $500 bill from lap dances and beers and a couple plates of food. I'm like, damn, dude, we're only on like the second day here. We haven't even done anything. So we finally found this little graffiti thing, the wall, and people are tagging them, and we're just having a good time. We find these little grocery stores, and I eat cigarettes, so cigarettes are cheap out there. And these guys are just like, wow, you're buying the cheapest cigarettes out here. And I'm like, you know what? It tastes good. I don't really care. And, when you're in a different state, for someone that doesn't go there all the time, you see these historical places or monuments or tourist attractions, and I'm looking through some of that stuff, but I'm really just amazed to be somewhere else and look at the moon a different way, the sun a different way, or how the sun sets, or how people act, and it's different. Cars, traffic, the way the roads are, just everything is set up different. And I'm looking around like, this ain't bad. Like, I could move here. Every place is hiring, and I'm actually just like, man, I don't really drink that often, so I'm drinking a lot with Steve because I smoke weed and he doesn't. So it's like, all right, trying to do something as with my friend, so I'm just not strung out on smoking weed all day and feeling like a bum, and a lot of other things that people would think just you want to eat all the time, and you're hot, and I'm just not like that. That's vice versa for you with alcohol. I don't really like drinking just because I don't really care for the feeling of it, but also my dad's an alcoholic, or recovering alcoholic, and I just don't want to. It's in my blood. I don't want to drink it. So I'm trying to find weed. I'm asking people around town. I'm like, yo, you know where the bud is? These crackhead people are coming up. I got their numbers still saved in my phone. I get a hold of somebody in like Miami Gardens, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna meet up with you. It's like 2:00 in the morning. I'm walking in these streets of Miami to this unknown, little area, a little subdivision area from my aunt's house. I don't know these streets. I'm just gonna walk, and I meet up with this person, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm at this grocery store. Meet me over here by the Burger King." We walk up there, and it's kind of like a tomboyish, long braid style chick. Kind of look like Young M.A., but a little bit skinnier. I don't know if you know what Young M.A. is. Kind of like a lesbian rap star. She's got some good raps, but I'm not all about all the new rap and all this new hip hop these days. I like my lyrical talents. So at this time, I'm kind of just like, all right, young Miles out here, you know what I'm saying? So I give her the money. She's asking for like $2 for a zip, and I'm like, that's kind of about what we would pay here. And I'm like, you know what? How much for 2 zips? And she tells me, she's like, I'll give you a deal. It's like $3.30 for like 2 zips. I'm like, all right, I bust out this money, buy it, and it looks some dank. It's lime green. It smells good. It's in nice little packaging. Don't look like it's messed up, nothing. I get stuff, put it in my hoodie, and I walk back to my aunt's house, start rolling up joints, and I'm like, I need to smoke. So Steve's chilling in the room, my aunt's house, and I'm rolling up joints just outside on the back patio, and all these little gecko guys are coming out, and it's hot and steamy, and I'm just rolling up joints, and I finally fire one up. And I don't even know the neighbors, I don't know anybody around the area, but she's got like a gated inside back patio area, and if you cross that, you can go to all the other side of the subdivision of this area. And rolled up probably about 7 or 8 of them before I was like, I don't even feel like rolling a lot of these right now. We're probably not even gonna smoke them. And we're taking Lyfts and Ubers everywhere we're going, so it's not like you can just light up inside of an Uber unless you're cool with it. But I don't know. So we find this little event one night. We were trying to find something to do, and we're like, what? Let's go see what we can do. We go out to this little event down the street, and there's like a bunch of food tents set up and a little pavilion under an overhang. You walk under it, and there's you can get this fried ice cream stuff where it's like on this little plat. There's like, I don't know what it is. He gets one of those, and I take a bite of it. It was really good. I'm like, man, that's cool. It was like expensive. It was like $6 for like a scoop. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not trying to spend all my money on ice cream and food, even though I'm fat anyway. I'm always, I'm a plain eater though. That's the thing. When you're a plain eater, you don't necessarily want sauces, and I'm not really about tomato sauce on pizza. I like light sauce, if anything. And so I'm trying. I see all these food places that looks intense. But I'm like, I'm not really about to eat all that food. So Steve's trying different foods. I'm getting different beers. It's like $6, $7 a beer. We're getting these different mixed drinks, trying to get smashed. See a couple hot chicks dancing around, and I see this one chick just chilling off in the corner at this event, and I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna go smoke a joint, and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette away from everybody. Whatever. And I see this kid walks up while I'm checking this girl out. He's like, hey, yo, man, you know where I can get a joint or two or some weed? I'm like, hell yeah, man, it's $10 a joint. The guy's like, dude, I pay like $6 or $7 a joint. I'm like, well, this is some Michigan weed, I'm not telling him what it is. He buys it, $10 off me. 2 joints, I believe. I'm checking out this girl over here, and she looks like she's like messed up on something. I don't know. But she kind of looked like she's a little handicapped. And I'm like, I'm going to stay away from her. I don't want to mess with her. So, I start smoking my joint, having my cigarette, and checking out the scene around me. And the girl's getting closer and closer to me as I'm, sitting where I'm at. And I'm just looking around like, why is she walking towards me? Like, I don't know her. She doesn't know me. I thought she was cute. But then, as she's walking closer, I'm like, oh. No, I'm good on that. She's kind of smaller stature, kind of like a bag of bones style chick. She's like maybe 80, 85 pounds at the most, soaking wet. And anyways, while I'm checking her out, the guy comes back. The kid that comes back that bought the 2 joints from me comes back. He's like, how much for an eighth? How much for an eighth? And I'm just like $50, bro. I'm just telling $50. And he's like, all right. So he gives me the $50. I bag it up real quick. I don't know. I give him in a cellophane or something, seal the top, give it to him. And I just made some money just off of nothing, and I have 2 ounces, so you know it ain't nothing to me. I'm just like, sure, I don't have it all with me, but you know I brought like maybe 6 or 7 joints with me, and I just sold him, you know, an eighth in joints. And I think I had a butt or two in my pack that I had, so I gave him that in my cellophane, like 3 joints or something. It was like an eighth and $50 or whatever. I gave him. I think maybe 4 joints and like a bud or something like that. It was like $50 because I was like, you know, I packed these up. It was nice. You know, I sold it to him. I didn't really care. You know, whatever. I have like 2 joints left. I'm hitting one, and I'm getting. You know, I've had a couple beers already, a couple mixed drinks. So I'm, you know, I'm feeling it. Finally, I look kind of just on after, you know, about 2 minutes after the kid leaves, the girl's coming up behind me around the railing to where I'm standing. There's like these little TV stands for like AT&T Wireless and Verizon and all these different like things you can sign up for. And I'm not interested in that. I'm just chilling over there because they have chairs. You can chill and sit down. And this girl walks up, excuse me. I'm like, the hell? She's finally talking, and that's what she sounds like. She sounds like a pipsqueak, like a mouse or something. Excuse me, do you have a charger for an Android phone? And I look, and I'm like, actually, I do, but I'm using it right now, but I have this battery block. You can plug your phone in. And she's like, sure, okay. She's like, but I can't figure out my way home. I don't know how to get back to this certain little hotel thing she was staying at. I thought she called it a brothel. I'm like, a brothel? I'm like, they don't have these things anymore. And I guess apparently they have something similar to it right now, like a bed and breakfast style like facility for, I don't know, like whorehouse HUD type of deal. I don't know, some Section 8. I don't know what it is. Some weird low rent style place, but it was like in a different nice area down on the beach shore. And I'm like, all right, sure, you know, here, if you need, you know, anything, I can help you. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make friends so I can find weed in different connects anyway. So I'm asking her questions. She's like, no, I don't know anybody. I'm from New York. I'm like, what are you doing here? She like came from the art galleries that we have here. And I'm like, oh, cool. We saw some of that stuff. She's like, well, there's a big thing tomorrow if you want to go. And you know, tomorrow at this time, this was like the last day that we were gonna be in town. Actually, yeah, we did a lot of stuff. This is the last day of the story I'm talking about. It's the last day before we're going. And so anyways, ends up that we're going to take this girl to her little hotel or wherever she's staying on the street. So we get a lift. We get her inside there, and so we had it's a plus one with our order already, and we had to pay for that. And she's driving with me. She's kind of like drunk, kind of hanging on my shoulder, and I'm like, yo, you need to get off. She's like, I'm sorry, it's so warm. I'm like, I don't care what I am. Like, you need to stop touching me, man. We're trying to do you a favor. She's like, oh, you're such a nice man, and you're not trying to rape me and like all these other people. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm trying to be, you know, a good citizen. You know, you came to me, I gave you a charge on your phone. You know, I'm hoping you're gonna give me the money back, basically, you know, when we get you to where you're going. She's like, yeah, no problem. We get there, and we're both getting out, and she doesn't get out. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I can't find my wallet. She's searching everywhere, back and forth throughout everything. We're looking around, and we're like, none of us have your wallet. You know, and she's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. That's everything. She starts breaking down and crying and crying. And we're like, listen, you still got to get out of the taxi. Like, you can't just sit in, you know, it's a lift. You can't just sit in the lift. They have places to go, you know. And he's like, no, it's all right, you know. We understand you lose stuff, but, you know, we're going to take your information down and put a hold on, you know, like a charge or something like that. And she's like, I don't have anything. All my cards are gone and blah, blah, blah. I left it at the place. So they're like, the guy was like, I'll take you back there one time, and if you find it, you pay me, and I'll bring it back, you know, free of charge the second time, you know, just do him a favor. She's like, all right. And me and Steve are like, all right, cool. So we just start walking. We just leave her there, and I don't know what happened. And we start going back to my aunt's house. We're like, yeah, we're kind of a little tipsy. We're just going to go back to my aunt's house and get ready, pack up our stuff, brush our teeth, take a shower, get some snacks ready, and pass out. You know, we've had a long day. It's probably like 3:30, 4 in the morning at this point. And so next morning, this is where the second part of this story, the whole main reason why I'm doing this channel here is for these stories here. So, packing up my stuff, and a couple of the nights before all this happened, I went to, like I said, my cousin has a little vape, smoke shop, tobacco place we went to, and we got a couple things there, and I got this little glass, air sealed tight, like pop type of deal. It's got like a lock on the little device. It's this big, you know, so you can store probably a good ounce in there. Air sealed tight. And I'm like, alright, cool. And while I was also there, I bought like this disposable, not disposable, but it's like a mini steamroller that has like a twist blunt. It's like a glass blunt kind of steamroller thing. I bought, like, came with two of them. And so I have all this weed, and I pack an ounce inside this glass container, ear seal tight it, pop it, and I roll, you know, 6-10 joints or something like that. And I, in my little glass blunt thing, came with a little box, and it had 2 slots in there for each device. So I grind up a bunch of weed, and I pack those full of weed, both of them. And underneath, you can pull the box out, and underneath there would be like the charger, the instructions, and all that. I take all the instructions out, whatever, throw that shit in the garbage. Take the charger out of it, put that, you know, in my carry-on bag. And so I rolled up all the joints with cellophane, a little baggie. I've layered that, and then on the bottom of that, I took about, I don't know, a quarter of weed, stuffed that in there a little bit, and put my box back together, a little piece. Put the instruction on top of where I had the little glass bowls. Put that back in there, put that in my carry-on, and then I still have, I don't know, about a half ounce of weed left. So I'm going into the airport thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have this in my carry-on. I got food and snacks and grocery bags and cigarettes, and I think I got a couple magazines. I had a bag that I got from the like the duty-free shop type place where you buy souvenirs. That's what it is. You buy some souvenirs. I got like a t-shirt and a couple other things, so I got that all stuffed in my little carry-on bag. And we get all our stuff. We go to lock up my aunt's house, and somehow we lost the key or left it somewhere. And we're scrambling. My aunt's a teacher, so she's gone off, and I can't just call her in the middle of class. So we're like panicking, like, what do I do? So I climbed the back fence to go back into her, I guess they call it a door wall. And it's like a sliding door, and it goes right into her kitchen out there. And so, you know, you got the fence, you climb it, and I'm falling, fall on there, and the neighbors are looking at me. It's broad daylight, and I'm like, it looks like I'm sneaking into the house, which, if anybody has seen me, I'm here for a week, and my aunt knows, and my neighbors knew they were there, but it doesn't look like it because there's some random dude jumping over a fence at that moment. I hit the floor, I get the sliding door jammed enough where I can look to see if I can unlock it, because there's a screen there, and they didn't have a screen at that time, so I could just put my hand in and unlock the door. I slide the sliding glass door, and I'm looking around. I'm like, where could the key be? So I look around, it's just like a single key. It's not in like a keychain or in a bag or a little cardboard things they give when you get a brand new key. Nothing like that. It's just a single key that she took off her key ring. And so we're looking around for it, and I go back into the bathroom, and I see the pair of pants that I was wearing that I changed to get into a looser fit, more comfortable item for the airplane. And that's where the key was, in the back pocket. I would have left the pants and the dang key. Good thing I came back, found it. We came back, locked the door, jumped back over the fence because the lift's waiting for us to go to the airport. I get back in, and we get on our way. I don't even remember the name of the highways right now that we were getting on. I don't even know where the airport is right now. I just know that's where we went. And we get there, and for some reason I felt like the Lyft driver was smelling weed, because all the time he's like a deep smell. You can tell when someone's, you know, sniffing heavily, and I'm thinking, oh, shoot, Jiminy Crickets, I'm going to get caught, you know? Oh, boy, oh, my God, I'm going to get caught. I do not want to get caught. And so, And where do you guys go to? He's saying, where to go to? You guys are from Michigan. He's asking us questions, and he's saying that, it's a good job out here. He came from the States, over in New York. He's riding around doing lift out there, and he wanted to expand, so he came to Florida. And we're like, oh, that's cool. We're out here doing construction, because I was working with my boy doing construction with his company. And basically, I was on vacation with him. And he needed someone to go with him because I was working. Him and everybody else worked a regular job, and we have our own kind of schedule. And we had a week out of a couple of jobs to get material and waiting on customers. We went on a little mini vacation. And that's where we chose to go. He's like, oh, I got you. It must be nice, but I live in Michigan. I don't know what it's like to have all 4 seasons. I'm like, yeah, it's cool, but it's also winters out there are harsh, and he's like, yeah, I know it is. New York is very cold. I said, yeah, I've never really been to New York. I've been a couple times, but not in the middle of the winter. So he's explaining that to us, and we're driving, and these guys are cutting us off, and he's yelling, oh, what, blah, 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 and all these different languages, blah, 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 and I'm like, what? And I'm not racist by any means. I actually love to impersonate people, and I like to make different stories. I try to be the character if I'm trying to explain to somebody how they are. And I have my little voices. You guys will get to know that. And you guys will see if you guys subscribe. And again, thank you for all your support so far. I got a couple viewers now, a couple subscribes. Guys, please keep subscribing. I have Wild Stallion on my page. My GoFundMe account, it's just so much, it's weird. I just kind of send it in there and copy and paste the link in the description. I know I said I was going to do that last time, I didn't, so this one I will do it. I don't like to be called panhandler or begging for money, but this is donations for the page. It's not directly for me. It goes in the account for the GoFundMe. It takes a couple days for it to go through anyway. I have a regular job, guys. But this is side money that I'm trying to get into. I'm trying to do a different thing here for this channel. I tell stories to get things off, let it out. Also, I'm here to, I want to help the youth. I want to help people to understand these are not things that you should be doing in your life, but they're dumb decisions that you make. But they have a later story later on, but that's not, beneficial for you to do these things. So, again, I don't promote smoking weed. I don't promote, well, actually, I will say I do promote smoking weed. If you were the age of 18 or 21 and you're at a legal age to do it and it's for the right reason, sure, smoke weed, all by means. I mean, you can grow here in Michigan. We're recreationally legal. We can grow our own now, so it's okay. But I'm not saying to be driving around just smoking and chiefing all the time. You have a lockbox, you put that stuff in the back. Keep it away from anybody. You don't just get reckless with it. You don't drink and drive, so you have to be careful with certain things. So I don't recommend cocaine or selling it. I don't recommend that. I'm not a tough guy, even though I thought I'd be. I mean, I'm strong. I'm tough at heart. I'm tough at will, but I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I'm 5'8". These guys walk up and they're, oh, I got big muscles, and it's like, hold up, dude, I got testosterone too, but I'm not going to just go pick a fight. I've done cage fighting. I've done, matches at the Starvin Marvin nightclubs where you get paid 5 G's to fight and you have 3 TKO knockouts. That's fine. I've lost a couple of those, but I won a lot more. I can fight, but at the same time, I'm not scared of everybody. There's some people I just don't walk up to because they're just simply a badass, and you just feel like you're a peasant when you walk by them, so I just don't. And I've fought stupid people over girls and things like that, but it's not beneficial for you. It's a lot of times you just walk away. So I have a lot of crazy stories, guys. Thank you for tuning in again. I know I seem like I smoke cigarettes a lot. I'm a chain smoker. I don't promote kids doing this. I'm just at leisure doing this at my house. Probably going to get demonetized by YouTube for it, but oh well, I'm getting my stories out here. By the way, you got donations, thank you, appreciate it. Back to the story. So, alright, where were we? Alright, we're in the taxi, we get to the airport. So I get to the airport, and I smoke a cigarette like I'm doing now before I walk, because I know I'm not going to be able to have a cigarette. So I smoke 2 cigarettes. Steve's waiting for me, like, we got to go. We got 25 minutes to really be in the airport because it took a lot longer than needed to be to get on our flight. We had an early flight. So I'm chiefing down 2 cigarettes, and we get in there, and I'm like, what do I do with the weed? Oh man, I got a half-ounce still chilling that I have to hide kind of somewhere. I just have it in like a hoodie, just in my hoodie, my little pouch. And I'm like, there's no way I'm just gonna get through the security. I have to take everything out and take my shoes off, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So while we're sitting there waiting to get our tickets checked in, you sit in the little waiting area. They have the little TVs up there, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and I'm hungry, but because besides that, I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom with my bag, and I start looking at my stuff, and I'm like, how can I hide this? So I start hiding. I rolled the rolled joints that I had in the bottom of my little bowls that I told you I bought, my little one-hitter glass blunt things. I take those all out. I take a pack of cigarettes, and I take a couple out, put them outside. I rolled the rolled joints that I had. I put them in the cigarette pack, put that in the bottom of my bag, and then I take about a quarter of weed out of that in a bag of Ziploc and seal it tight, flatten that out, roll 2 or 3 joints from that real quick. So there's weed all over the toilet and everything. People are walking there. I'm sure they smelt weed like hell. And I took one to go. I had it like in my ear. I didn't really care. I put it in my ear, and after I do that, there's still like a quarter of weed left, like I said. And I didn't know what to do with it, so what I did is I bagged it up and I put it, like when you walk into the bathroom, how they have those locked doors. There's like a toilet, and they have like that pull down baby station thing. So I take the quarter of weed and I'm like, whatever. I put it in the baby station thing, push it up, lock it in place. I'm like, somebody's going to have a good day because I didn't feel like I wanted to risk it all and take all that weed with me. So I'm like, I already got a lot here. I'm going to get locked up for what I have. So if I'm taking this now, I'm just going to take it. So and I have, it's all sealed up in bags and stuff like that. After, with my box, I put another Ziploc bag on it, sealed that up, put it in the pocket of my suitcase, and my carry-on bag is where I had all the joints and my cigarettes and a couple of drinks and like some t-shirts I put over the top of it. I made it look like, there's nothing in there. So we go through the x-ray security. My bag goes through first. Steve's is behind me. My bag goes through perfectly smooth. I walk right in. Mind you, I still have the joint in my ear. And they didn't even say nothing about it, which is odd. But I also had a cigarette in this ear, so I kind of would switch off. Like when I walk through and they ask you to take the cigarettes out of your ear. Or they asked me to take my cigarettes out of my ear. So I took my cigarette, and the one that I have, the weed, I kind of like cup it into my hoodie. And it's like right here in my arm, you know what I'm saying? I'm cupping it like this. And I walk through the security. Nothing. I grab my stuff out of the little plastic barrel, put all my stuff back in my hoodie, headphones, put my joints, my cigarette, and after that, there's you can walk through to the airplane, or there's like a little door you can walk out of before the airplane. And I was like, I'm gonna smoke my last cigarette before we get on. And I go out there, and I'm waiting for Steve. And before I even go out there yet, Steve's got to check his bag. So he's going through the security, and he puts his bag through, and beep, 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 beep. And I'm like, oh, no, like, what's going on? And he ends up getting stopped for some kind of unknown bottle of, like, cologne that he had. It was in, like, a shampoo bottle or something. He was poured it in there, and they're like, this contaminant. This is going to contaminate. The cap isn't sealed right, and we can't allow this off the airport. Could be poison. He's like, what do you mean, man? That was like a $60 bottle of cologne, man. I poured what I left in here, and I have an open bottle right here. This is the cologne. And they're like, you got to throw both of them away now since you want to be crazy. He's like, come on, man, whatever. So he threw like, I don't know, $120, $130 bottle of cologne and an extra away just to get through the customs over there into the airport. And as soon as I start seeing all this, I start walking toward the little door. I'm like, I need a cigarette. So I walk outside, and he comes with me to this little door before the airport crossing. And I go in and I smoke a cigarette, and while I'm doing that, I just light that joint up. I'm like, fuck it, man. We got a few minutes. Not everybody's going to be out, they're taking tickets, but they have a few minutes before they have everybody seated, and everybody's got to put their buck. We're not taking off yet, man. We're good. So I just start chiefing the cigarette and the weed at the same time, chain smoking out this door. And there's people waving, traffic over here and a couple guys over there. And I'm just smoking it. I don't even care. I must have smoked the weed down to probably, a little roach. And I'm not bringing that, so I just flick that out. I chief another cigarette real quick, half of then I just throw it, and we go back in the door and hurry up and get back in line, get in our seats. And, yeah, it was fun. We get in the plane, and I'm just like, oh my God, I cannot believe we just did this. Now, mind you, I still got those little glass bowls, the glass blunts that I have in the box, full of weed, full. The glass blunts are full, and there's joints all in the bottom that I took out of there. Well, that's in the cigarette pack, but I have a whole, quarter ounce of weed rolled out in, 2/8 on the bottom of this thing. So, halfway through the flight, I'm listening to music, Steve's nodding out. I go into the bathroom, and I look up, and I don't see any smoke detector anywhere. So I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to hit this bowl. And I take 2 hits out of it. And I'm like, wow, I kind of feel kind of high. And I put it back in my bag, roll it up, put the air seal tight, put it back in my little bag. And I have a little cologne in there. So I spray that in the bathroom just after that. And there's a little fan you can turn on. But it's really, it doesn't do anything. At least it doesn't think so. But it's kind of like those indoor, or in the wall kind of circulatory fans or whatever you want to call them. And so I turn that on, and I just walk out the door with the light off, get back and put my carry-on bag back on the overtop thing. And a couple hours goes by with me playing on my phone, even though you're kind of supposed to have your internet connection. I'm just playing solitaire on my phone or listening to music. And we finally land at the Detroit airport. And I'm like, I got that weed. I smoked on the plane. Man, it was a crazy day. And Steve was just like, I can't believe you made me throw $130 a bottle of cologne away, and you just smuggled weed over here, And it's just funny. Thank you guys for listening to my story. Tune in. I'm going to try to post a couple more stories each day. Like I said, I'm going to have random days here, Monday through Sunday if possible, but sometimes I'm not going to be able to record every single day. So when I do record, it'll be one of those days, and you'll know what's going on from there. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.